This episode brought to you by these glorious bastards who help keep the lights on here because I can't monetize on YouTube. If you'd like to join my Patreon, links are in the description. But thank you, patrons. Thank you very much. Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood Master Chaos here. I hope you're well today. We begin, well, I should say this episode, not only today, because who knows when the hell you're watching this. Today for me, tomorrow for you, next week, who knows? But let's not go down that wormhole. On this episode, we start a long, strange, outre trip into the bizarrest corners of the cinema, led by the one, the only, Doris Wishman. Now, I have a personal story and a personal history with Doris, which I will share with you today on episode 1.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Journey back with me to a place far, far away, long, long ago. A place known as Miami, Florida. I was just graduated from film school, prepping to make my second feature film on 35mm, no less, when I get a call from my pal Linnea Quigley, who had been in my last movie, and I was talking to her to be in my second movie, and she says, "Oh, I'm gonna be down, in Miami, working on a project." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. What's it about?" She goes, "Oh, it's kind of like a mystical revenge movie, and it's directed by Doris Wishman." At that moment, I froze. Wait a minute, Doris Wishman? The Doris Wishman? Backtrack. I knew Doris thanks to a show hosted by Sandra Bernhard, and that I believe was made by Something Weird Video. Don't quote me on it, but they certainly used Something Weird Video clips. It was on USA Network, I believe, called Real Wild Cinema, where they would cut down Something Weird type movies, She Freak, Bad Girls Go to Hell, things like that. They would cut them down to shorts, essentially 5 minutes, condensed mini movies, and that was my big introduction to that was a weird side of movies, the 70s, 60s weirdness. That because of that show, I really, really like. I will be the first to say it is not good. They're not good movies, but they make me feel good, if that makes any sense. Like, there's something about them. They have an energy that works for me. No, not for everybody, but for me. Anyway, I knew Doris through that, and picking up some of her titles that were released, again, through Something Weird and things like that. So when Linnea said, "I'm going to be in this Doris Wishman movie," I was like, holy shit, I would love to be on that set. How the hell can I be on that set? Do they need a PA? I'll be a PA. Now, it's rare to almost never that a director will want to be a PA. PA is low man on the totem pole. It stands for production assistant. You're a gopher. Hey, go get me some coffee. Hey, can you bring the actress a cup of water? Can you go make sure that they're ready? All that stuff. So it's super low man on the totem pole. Like, I'll be a PA, whatever they need. I'd love to meet her and work with her. I think that'd be great. So she called Michael Bowen, the producer, who is also her biographer, and we'll talk about him in a minute when we discuss the two movies today. And then he contacted me through email. He's like, "Hey, yeah, we'd love to have you. It's going to be a really small production, but, we could use some help." I'm like, fantastic. And then I get on set, and I meet a couple, the other PA, who was also sort of helping with camera, was another big Doris fan. So it was made by Doris Wishman fans. Michael is a big Doris Wishman fan. That's why he's the biographer. They brought back C. Davis Smith, who became a dear, dear friend. I love Chuck very much. He was at my wedding. That's how much I love Chuck. For an important reason, Chuck was at my wedding, and I'll explain as I continue down this journey. Chuck was a cinematographer. He shot most of Doris's movies. He worked a little bit on the movies we're going to be discussing today. He's just a wonderful human being. So I instantly liked him. I instantly liked Michael. And then I met Doris. And she is kind of a bristly, off-putting person. She's at the time she was kind of the old Jewish grandma kind of stereotype. She was very welcoming. She was very nice. But it was almost, and I'm not disparaging here at all, but it was definitely like, she could have done anything without us, obviously. She didn't need the help. We were there to just kind of be in awe of her working. And then I saw her direct a scene. And I don't know how this woman has made, over 40 movies or something like that. It was like, this felt like some old lady wanted to make a movie before she died, and I'm just talking, again, not disparaging, but just in terms of like what it looked like. If I had no idea who Doris Wishman was, it looked like some old lady who really wanted her lifelong dream was to make a movie, and here she was trying to make a movie, before she, shuffled off the mortal coil. And I've never seen anyone direct a movie the way she does. The fact that she's constantly talking over the scene. It's action. You shut the fuck up and you let the actors do what they gotta do. You direct them before the take, not during. Doris would constantly give direction. An actor would walk, okay, you walk into the room, okay, come on over here, you look around, and the scene is going, we're filming, and I'm looking over at Chuck, he's like, you should get, you look around, you go to this chair, you kick a chair, for no reason. I guess it made sense to her, but it didn't make sense to anybody else, especially the actor. I'll never forget an actor turning around and go, kick the chair? Why would I kick the chair? He goes, just do it. So she would direct them like she was making a silent movie. I mean, this is how Charlie Chaplin would work. But you could do that when you weren't recording sound. The problem is, you are recording sound. We were shooting on DV. So you had to dub everything. Which is time consuming and more expensive and frustrating and dumb. But that's how Doris worked. And while I didn't necessarily understand her approach to cinema, I appreciated who she was and what she stood for. Doris Wishman made an ass ton of movies, and there's a ton of ass in her movies. And we will talk about them in depth as we go along. What I hold in my hands is the first box set from AGFA, The Twilight Years, the films of Doris Wishman. On it are these particular beauties. This is only a sliver. They have promised 3 of these box sets. I mean, technically a box set, not really a box, but it's got a ton of stuff in it. So I don't know what you would call it, compilation discs. There's 3 discs on here. This will be the first of 3 episodes focusing on the Twilight Years box set. I'm dividing them by disc. So today, for you, my friend, we talking big old boobies, because we'll be talking about the films Deadly Weapons and Double Agent 73. Why is it called Double Agent 73? It was because her bust measured 73 inches. I'm not kidding. As a matter of fact, I probably can't show much footage from the movie because it's full of lady meats. And, YouTube frowns on lady meats, which I agree with you is discrimination.
Now, I'm really mad.
Let me show you what we're working with here. The set opens up like this. You have a little booklet. I believe this has an interview with Doris. This is the disc we will be talking about today, and then the other 2 are separate. Now I believe the next episode will have 2 movies, but the 3rd episode will have 3. So we go out with a bang, as Doris would have loved us to. Let's dive into the mountains of... I was going to use a word I probably shouldn't use on YouTube, so let's just talk about Deadly Weapons. Deadly Weapons runs 1 hour and 15 minutes. Let's be 100% honest, there's only one reason why this movie was made, and that's because the lead actress has a monster pair of breasts. They're so big, her nipples reach her belly button, and don't you worry, you'll get plenty of time to see them because she's naked in almost every scene that she's in this movie. Crystal's boyfriend, Larry, gets into trouble with the wrong people and winds up on the wrong end of a 38. Crystal then decides to take matters into her own hands and goes on a quest for vengeance, the only way a woman with monster boobies can. And if you guessed it's becoming a stripper, then you're 100% correct. And if you also guessed that she suffocates the villains with her massive mounds of flesh, then you'd also be 100% correct. What a way to go. But seriously, suffocating is awful. Even if it's boobs, suffocating is bad. I would not want that. I would not want that. No. The film works as a sleazy and downbeat revenge thriller, and while I do think there's a little bit too much padding, and that's not a pun because Chesty needs no padding, I think the film does work overall and delivers the goods. On the technical side, it's awkwardly shot and amateurishly framed, with most of the movie being dubbed over by characters that are conveniently off screen, because Doris always shot MOS, and now that I've explained her directing style, that makes more sense. But let's be honest, that's part of the charm. You don't come to a Doris movie expecting Kubrick-level perfectionism. Porn star Harry Reams co-stars here in a non-nude role as a sleazy mobster, and he turns out to be the best actor in the goddamn movie. One thing's for sure though, this lady had back problems. The film includes a commentary track by Michael Bowen, and it is a must listen to because it gives you all the background information you need and more. Like I said, Michael is her biographer, so he knows his shit. He's working on a book. He's told me it's almost nearing completion, and I'm going to announce it now. We are scheduling a live interview, hopefully to coincide with the end of my reviews of the Twilight Years box set, the second box set. Of titles that should hopefully be shipping to me pretty soon from Vinegar Syndrome. So once I've done at least the first two box sets, I'm going to have Michael come on and talk all about Doris Wishman. So all your questions will be answered. He pretty much knows it all. He even interviewed Chesty, who's still alive and kicking, and I hope she is well wherever she is in the world, which I believe is Florida. But anyway, I hope she's okay there. Now, I met the most important person on... by the way, that movie we worked on was called Each Time I Kill, and you may never see it. It's really bad. I have a copy of it, but it was on a German release. I don't know if it'll ever show up on an AGFA release or anything like that. We shall see. But it's real bad, and it's Doris's last movie. I got to work on Doris Wishman's last movie. No matter the quality, I was there for the last hurrah, and that's a big deal to me as a film fan. So I miss Doris, and I respect her, and hopefully one day you get to see the movie, but just be prepared, it's not very good. Anyway, on that movie that I met Michael and Chuck, I also met the most important person in my life, and that was Mistress Chaos. She was a PA. She came in one day, she answered an ad. You know, she had just graduated film school as well, and you know, she was looking to get film on-set experience, and we just so happened to meet on a Doris Wishman movie. Crazy. And Chuck became a dear friend to both of us, and he was the impetus made me, you know, go ask her out, because I was a shy individual. I had worked up the courage to ask girls out, but it just never clicked. Nothing worked out. Their loss. It's fine, but maybe it wasn't meant to be. Mrs. Cass was meant to be, and I owe it to Chuck to really kick me in the ass to go, at least, you know, break the ice. So Chuck has passed, unfortunately. Chuck, I miss you very much. You're a dear friend. I love you. Thank you for everything. I'm still in touch with his son, Chris, who's become a fast friend. And I miss Chuck very much. But these movies have not only reminded me of Doris, but of my really strong friendship with Chuck, who was at my wedding, was at my going away party in Miami when I moved to Los Angeles. I love him dearly. Anyway, folks, let's continue with Deadly Weapons. Sorry for the aside, but I feel I should give you my personal connection to these movies. Anyway, Michael's commentary, 100% necessary. It's the only special feature on here, but you will need it going forward to understand these movies. Now, what rating would I give Deadly Weapons? You're going to be shocked, baby Mocklet, but I'm going to give it 4 stars. That's right. I think it's pretty damn good. I think it's a pretty solid movie. As a revenge picture, it works. They use the assets at hand. Yeah, she's got big tits. Absolutely, she's going to smother these idiots to death. It makes perfect sense. And yeah, you get to see them a lot, so don't worry about that. To the point where it just becomes a little gratuitous. Or like, even I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm good with these things. You know, I get it. Let's move on to Double Agent 73, which is more of the same, but worse? Double Agent 73 runs 1 hour and 12 minutes. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if James Bond had big tits? Well, your dreams come true thanks to Doris Wishman. Chesty Morgan returns as Double Agent 73, and she's a double agent not because she's bad, but because she's got 2 boobs instead of 1. But one of those boobs has a camera in it. That's right, you heard me correctly. One of her boobs is a super spy camera, and yeah, it's super stupid. She's on a mission to do something, but honestly, I don't know what. Something about a dope racket, but I'm not sure why you would need a spy to take on drug dealers. In one scene, she kills a dude with ice cubes, and in another scene, she walks around snapping pictures of random stuff with her nipples. From what I hear, this was almost the plot of the next 007 movie starring Daniel Craig, but he wasn't man enough to get a boob job, so they killed his ass. This movie is so unengaging that I personally had no idea what the hell was going on at any time, and honestly, I don't think the movie cared either way. There's only one reason this movie exists anyway, and it's to show off Chesty Morgan's assets. And surprisingly, Doris keeps her nude appearances a little more under wraps compared to her full-out flapping in Deadly Weapons. Technically, the film is a mess with a ton of out-of-focus shots, awkward framing, and weird cutaways. It feels a lot more amateurish than Deadly Weapons, and you could almost say it feels like a first movie, but it most certainly isn't her first movie. Not that her movies were super high quality anyway, but this one was a little more rough around the edges. According to Chuck, Doris' main director of photography, both of these movies were cut and paste jobs from random titty footage with Chesty, who was apparently very hard to work with and would make the crew leave the set whenever she got naked. Now, there was supposed to be a third Chesty movie, but she was so difficult to work with that Doris decided not to do it and kill her off screen. Double Agent 73 comes with a commentary track by Frank Henenlotter and another director whose name I didn't catch. He's not listed here in the back, which is uncool, Agfa. Why not include everybody on the commentary track? Anyway, I'm happy to say that Frank just kind of shoots the shit, and he does not kiss this movie's ass. He doesn't think it's a masterpiece or anything. As a matter of fact, he fully embraces the fact that it is a badly made piece of garbage movie that makes absolutely no sense, but for some reason he still loves it. And I kind of understand that feeling. I get it. I mean, there's so many movies that I fully, readily admit are not good. As a matter of fact, pretty much every Doris movie we will be talking about, I will 100% admit, is not good. It's not good. But on a sliding scale of 60s to 70s era, exploitation junk, it holds a special place in my heart. That being said, Double Agent 73 is especially terrible. It's going to get 2 stars from me. Just badly put together, and the whole cut and paste situation makes way more sense in this one because the plot is complete nonsense. The fact that she has a camera in her boob and she lifts her boob up to take a picture, so stupid because, where's the flash bulb coming from? Where's the lens? I think this really drops the ball for Chesty when it comes to a sequel. So 2 stars for 73. So that'll do, Bugaboo. The first round of many, at least the first of 3 rounds for this particular Twilight box set. And here's a question for you. Down in the comments, leave me a thumbs up, by the way, if you're watching. That means you love me and I love you back. You know what? Even if you don't leave a thumbs up, I love you anyway. Whatever. I'm that kind of guy. Question for you. How big is too big? How big is too... now, I love a good pair of boobs. You know I do. But I think Chesty's a little too much, where it becomes kind of gross. Yep, gross is the word. Something I should also point out about this box set, if you're collecting these magnets. Look at this thing here. You got 4 magnets. They're using the same gimmick from the Cardona box set. As opposed to the Cardona box set, we're actually going to get these. So when my second one comes up, when I do the Mail Day Monday with Mrs. Cass, I'm going to slap these together and be like, oh yeah, look how cool. They're glued together. Awesome. Stay tuned for episode 2 of the Twilight Films box set. For now, I bid you adieu. Take care of yourselves. I know I'm going to try to take care of myself. Until we meet again, bidding you adieu.